For the second time this week, Biden told a story about a 2021 summit detailing a conversation with a foreign leader who died years ago.
You know, this isn't the first time that Joe Biden has pretended to see dead people. Well, it's been quite a week for Joe Biden and his lack of mental clarity, because he told a story, as you know, earlier in the week where he was relaying a discussion he had with world leaders, and he mistakenly referred to the president of France as President Mitterrand, referring to Francois Mitterrand, who actually died in 1996, which begs the question, did Joe Biden just mistakenly think that President Macron was President Mitterrand, or does he actually think that he was speaking with President Mitterrand? Either way, we deserve an answer, don't we? And then the next day, he couldn't remember the name of the terror group Hamas that just carried out the October 7th terrorist attacks. He was lost. He couldn't come up with the name. He called them the opposition. Then thankfully, a reporter bailed him out and said, "It's Hamas," right? As if he's watching a game show or something, or Jeopardy. And they're, "Yeah, that's right, Hamas. That's who I meant." That was disconcerting enough. Well, now, apparently, third time's the charm. He did it again. Jackie Heinrich over there at Fox News tells about another dead foreign leader.
For the second time this week, Biden told a story about a 2021 summit detailing a conversation with a foreign leader who died years ago. The last time he told this exact same story on Sunday, he swapped out French President Macron for the late French President Mitterrand, who died in 1996. This time he swapped out German Chancellor Angela Merkel for the late German Chancellor Helmut Kohl, who died in 2017. Talking about January 6th, Biden said, quote, "I sat down and I said, well, America's back. And the president of France looked at me and said, for how long? I never thought of it this way. Then Helmut Kohl of Germany looked at me and said, what would you say, Mr. President, if you picked up the London Times tomorrow morning and learned that 1,000 people had broken down the doors?" Biden's aides apparently never told him that he screwed up, because he told this exact same story using Helmut Kohl's name at two events last night, 30 blocks and 3 avenues apart. So during the long motorcade, no one told the president that he got it wrong, and you should probably fix it for the next event. Guys.
You're probably right. So, Jackie, your colleague Peter Doocy asked Karine Jean-Pierre about, why is the president saying he just talked to a dead guy? And she said, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. At some point, they're going to have to address he's messing stuff up.
Yeah, and it's, hard to argue that it's a rabbit hole when you have an NBC poll showing 76% of voters have serious concerns or major concerns about whether the president's mental fitness can withstand another 4 years. That's a huge chunk of people, and it's not Republicans only in that poll. This is just registered voters.
Jackie,
so,
I don't know if you had a chance to look at it yet, but a lot of times they change the transcript and fix it.
They did say I think they said they were going to.
Did they change Helmut Kohl out too?
I haven't seen the official transcript yet. The pool reports came out late last night because he had a couple of events back to back. Usually the official transcript comes out sometime in the next 24 hours. They did, though, fix the Sunday one, and they strike through Mitterrand and they put in parentheses Macron. They don't ever announce when they do this, but they also don't conceal it. They strike it out and then put the correction in there. If you were to comb through for all of the strike throughs in the White House reports, you'd probably get a lot.
All right. Couple things to unpack here. First of all, that last point about, fixing the transcripts where they come back in and fix it. There's another word for that. They lie. They lie. They actually erase history. At a time when we're hearing a whole lot about journalists acting as propagandists and how dare you be a mouthpiece for the state and all that stuff, we're actually talking openly about how the White House goes in and basically erases history and rewrites history to make the president look good, or at the very least, look not so bad. Secondly, mistaking Macron for Mitterrand, I sort of get it. Just hear me out here. Macron's only been president for a few years. Mitterrand was president for like 15 years. And it was back during Joe Biden's heyday when his brain was functioning a little bit more on speed, like 25, 30 years ago, right? And it's two French guys, and both of their names start with the letter M. Okay, so they really could have spun this, and they would have gotten away with it. Angela Merkel is the Chancellor of Germany, and she's a very petite woman. Helmut Kohl, who again is dead, when he was Chancellor of Germany, was actually a very tall in stature man. So this is a lot more than just mistaking Angela Merkel for Helmut Kohl. This is somehow in your brain removing the mental image of a little woman you were talking to and replacing her with a towering man that you were talking to. In Joe Biden's brain, like when you recall a conversation to somebody, in your head, in your mind's eye, you see the picture of that conversation that took place. And it never occurred to him that he's referring to a woman as Helmut Kohl, a man's name? Goes well beyond just making a mistake, right? And then we started thinking, first Francois Mitterrand, then Helmut Kohl. You know, this isn't the first time that Joe Biden has pretended to see dead people. Who can forget this from about a year and a half ago?
Now, an awkward moment at the White House today. President Biden gave a shout out to a congresswoman that he thought was there. But one problem, she died last month.
President Biden is raising eyebrows today after this embarrassing moment. At a White House ceremony on hunger, he called out the name of a congresswoman. Problem is, she's dead.
Representative Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
Jackie is the late congresswoman from Indiana, Jackie Walorski, who was killed in a car accident in August with two young staffers. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about the episode at the regular briefing today.
The president appeared to look around the room for an audience member, a member of Congress who passed away last month. He seemed to indicate she might be in the room. What happened?
The president was naming the congressional champions on this issue and was acknowledging her incredible work. She was on his mind. She was of top of mind. Representative
Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie?
Wow, she was bad at lying about him and covering him up even back then, Karine Jean-Pierre. Oh, she was on his mind. She was top of mind. That's all. No, that's not the point. He thought she was still alive. Could you address that, please? And of course she won't. They're just pretending that everything's fine. But it's clear that Joe Biden sees dead people. Even without the charming aspect of Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense. Although, honestly, at this point, I would settle for maybe the second or third sense from this president. Six is asking for way too much. And if you don't think this is a problem, what would you consider to be a problem from the man with the nuclear codes and his finger on the button? Also, by the way, lost in all of this is the fact that 3 times now in the last 4 days, he has told the exact same story to 3 different audiences. Yes, he's gotten some names wrong in telling this story, but even that, I mean, if I showed up here every day and delivered the exact same report to you with the exact same opinion, with the exact same words, you wouldn't be concerned that I got a name wrong here and there. You'd think that I'm losing it because I'm telling the exact same story over and over and over again. That in and of itself is disconcerting. And then after this event in New York, by the way, you notice he travels for fundraisers quite a bit, but he still hasn't gone to East Palestine, Ohio to visit the people after the chemical spill. But if there's a fundraiser there, I'll go. And well, he went to New York for this fundraiser. And I want you to take a look at him as he returned to the White House, stepping off Marine One on the South Lawn. Do you notice anything about his gait, about the way he carries himself? about the way that he seems to have trouble with every single step, about the way he neglected to salute the Marines standing at the bottom of the stairs. The fact that it's very difficult for him to keep a straight line as he walks. Do you notice that this is a man in crisis, in physical and mental crisis? I think you've noticed it. Most of us have noticed it. I guarantee you the people who are closest to him have noticed it. The people who work with him, the people who are his closest friends, and the people who call themselves his loving family. Of course they've noticed it. They know. And yet they refuse to say anything about it or do anything about it. And they not only claim to love this man, they claim to love this country. And they continue to put us in peril. Boy, they must know that Kamala Harris is a disaster.